Hello everybody and welcome back. This is the next video in the Codeless application development series or playlist that I'm working on, and this is all about why choose Codeless application development. What are the benefits? Why should you consider it? So we're going to go ahead and get started. So as always, don't forget to like and subscribe and check into the channel for new content. Now, I have a couple of websites pulled up here. Just like in previous videos, I will post the links in the description below. I'm not endorsed by these websites at all. They're just websites I found online and thought would be worth mentioning. So this is the TechSlang website. I noticed that when you go about halfway down, there are a couple of benefits listed in this section here. So a couple of things I want to note is first, their idea of getting new apps to market faster. The idea here is when you're doing codeless application development, you run the show. So they get to the market when you're done, not when the team is done. So the idea is in a traditional software development team, you often will have multiple individuals that are working on a project. So you'll have deadlines to keep everyone in line, but if you're the only person doing everything, then the product can go to market much faster. Next up is lowering software development costs and risks. There are a couple of reasons for this bullet point. So for this, I'm going to reference SoftwareHut, and here I'm again going to be posting this link in the description. So a typical software development team, and bear in mind they're different depending on quite a few different things, like the framework and methodology they have for project management and things of that nature. So the teams could be different. This is just a general idea of a potentially large team. You may have a project manager, product owner, team lead, tech lead, full stack developers, front-end developers, back-end developers, etc. So the idea is here you'll have, and I'll go over this very quickly, but potentially you may have a user interface designer who's designing the interface, someone who's designing the user experience. You may also need to have a tester, a QA engineer. If you're thinking, why do I need this? Well, unless you're able to create an entire mock-up of the application, you're not going to be able to easily tell a developer, here's exactly what I need. You can't just say, I need a red background with some buttons. They need to see exactly what you need. So that's the reason that they have this. Well, if you don't have the QA tester or engineer, then you may not know if there are any bugs in the application or if it's working as intended. Then you may have the front end and back end developer, someone who's creating the front facing side, and then the back end, so the business logic and data layers, etc. And again, could be even more to help govern that team. So there is a really high startup cost and just ongoing cost, because once the application is developed, you're probably going to need ongoing support for bugs, maybe if users have enhancement requests, and then you could also need help if there are future upgrades in Android and iOS, as once those updates go out, your application may need to be altered or changed to comply and work on the new ecosystem. Next up, you'll see that there is the bullet point for producing better apps, since designers can more easily integrate user requirements. The idea is you're creating everything, so it's as you need it and as you want it. Then you'll see data management and governance controls, because you're running the show and basically only relying on the software development service that you're using, and then easing the burden on IT teams. Now, this last one isn't as relevant for small business owners. Let's just say you have a local coffee shop and you just want a basic rewards app. You're probably never going to hire a massive development team. So we'll go into the other benefits for maybe some of the more small business owners. So this is the AppGyver website. Again, I will have the link in the description, but I love using this one as a reference because they have a really good interface, and I have a video review on them later on in this series. But the idea here is you'll have all of these features and functions here. You'll drag them into this interface, and with AppGyver being a little bit more technical, you can kind of develop the logic here. So the idea is for small business owners who want this logo, you'll just drag the image over here, resize it, and add the picture. You can add in buttons, drop-downs, checkboxes, etc., and kind of define what they do. But you'll notice at no point in this process did you need to know a single line of code. You're just dragging and dropping, and once you're done, you're exporting the file almost like you were saving a file from, let's just say, Microsoft Word. It's a little bit more complicated, but not by much, and often they will have enough video to kind of explain how to do it. So the idea here is pretty much anyone that has between a couple of dollars a month and upwards of like 100 or more can create a mobile application that is quick, responsive, and without the need of this massively technical team or individuals to create it for them. So the barrier to entry is incredibly low. All you need is an idea, and often because most of these services have free trials, you really don't need much income until you've actually come up with the application and kind of developed it. So if you can find one that has a 1 or 2 week trial, you can kind of get in, play with the interface, make sure that the app looks the way that you want it. And then really the only thing that's limiting you is that service and your marketing dollars. So the idea is not every service is going to have everything that you need. Some of them may have limitations to data storage. So if you're trying to create the next social media application, you may have data storage limits, so you have to find a service that fits those needs. They may have limits to downloads. So I'll cover more in later videos, but the general idea is often when you're looking to create the the application itself, you'll need to think about what you need, how it could change, like I covered in the last video, and then kind of go from there. So I hope this kind of gave you some details on why you would want to choose application development. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them below, and I'll be more than happy to help you out in any way I can. And I will see you all in the next video.